cream back.
You get two.
Gets one if you work right here.
Anyone else?
There ain't nothing more I like better than ice cream. Let me fucking know. A little ice cream Sunday for you. Keep passing that ice cream around. Make sure everybody gets one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody got one? Everybody got one? Hey, I still need another one right up front here. Right up front. Hey, we got something real special for you right now. Y'all give it up for Mr. Tank.
Y'all, when I was a kid, every night when it got this late, my mama would tell me a bedtime story. Would you like to hear a bedtime story? This one's more of a sad time story. It's the story of Cinderella. Well, it's actually the story of Rindercella. See, once upon a time, in a car and country, there lived a very beautiful girl. Her name was Rindercella. Now, Rindercella lived with the ugly other and her two sad blisters and a very hard house. Now, also in the same car and country, there lived a very prancing hince. This prancing hince's name was Chins Harming. And he was getting ready to have a fancy fall, so he invited the people for riles around, especially the pitch people. Now, Rindercella's ugly other and her two sad blisters went out to buy some drancy fesses to wear to the fancy fall. Rindercella couldn't go. See, all she had to wear were some old wordy dags. This made her marry bad and brought many ears to her ties. Finally, she just cat down and shried. She was sitting there kidding and shrieing when suddenly there was a blinding bash of light. It was her Gary Mudfather. He said, "Now, Rindercella, why aren't you at the fancy fall?" "Oh, Gary Mudfather," she exclaimed, "you know I can't go in these old wordy dags." He touched her with his magic wand. Suddenly, she appeared to be a babishing Rudy with sparkling subies and whirls and two glass drippers. "Oh, Gary Mudfather," she exclaimed, "yank through, yank through, yank through." And she kissed him on the cheek. "But Gary Mudfather," she asked, "how will I get to the Bansa Fall?" With another touch of his magic wand, suddenly appeared before a kick boat with Hicks white sources to take her to the Bansa Fall. As she drove away, the Gary Mudfather yelled out, "Now, Rindercella, make sure that you're home by midnight, or I'll have to turn you into a tumpkin." When she got to the Bansa Fall, she didn't have to knock on the door. You see, the Pransome Hints, he had been watching from a wooden window. They danced all night. They lulled and fub. Finally, the mid-clock struck night. Rindercella staged down the rares, and just when she beats the bottom, she slopped her dripper. The whole next day, the Pransome Hinch went looking all over the car and country, looking for the beautiful girl who slopped her dripper. Finally, he stopped at Rindercella's house. He tried it on her ugly other. It fit did. He tried it on her sickly usters. Fit did. Finally, kiddies, he tried it on Rindercella. You know what? It fit did. It was exactly the side rise. So they got married, and they lived heavily after afterwards. So, kiddies, the story of the Maury is, if you want to marry a prince of hints and all of love, don't forget to slop your dripper. Night, night.
Hey, friends, yeah, we're so excited you came out for the rest of the review. Now, we got something special planned just after this. We're going to have, in just a few minutes down in Big Smoker, we're going to have a little open mic session. And this is how it's going to work. If you have a special talent, okay, singing, poetry, music, something, stupid human tricks, you can perform those. And we only have 2 rules with those. You got to keep it short and you got to keep it clean, okay? Now the other thing is when you go down, we want to make sure that you pick up a mat that you're sitting on. If you could just grab a mat and take it with you down there. We're going to start in about 10 minutes. We'll see you at open mic in just a few.